Who was right, Coase or Stigler on property rights? Imagine trying to fix a noisy neighbor's loud music. Do you think the solution depends on who owns the rights to the music? That's the core of the debate between Ronald Coase and George Stigler about property rights. Their ideas shape how we understand market failures and how society should handle externalities. Ronald Coase, in his famous 1960 article, The Problem of Social Cost, argued that when property rights are clearly defined and transaction costs are low, people will negotiate to solve problems like pollution or noise. This is called the Coase theorem. He believed that who owns what initially doesn't matter for efficiency, as long as bargaining is possible. But he also said that in real life, transaction costs exist, and they influence the outcome. If it costs too much to negotiate or enforce rights, then the initial rights assignment can affect who ends up with what. Coase emphasized that strong property rights and good institutions are key to making markets work well without government interference. George Stigler, on the other hand, focused more on efficiency. He popularized the idea that if property rights are in place and transaction costs are zero, markets will naturally resolve externalities. His view simplifies the problem, suggesting that the initial rights don't matter for efficiency. Instead, the market will always find the best outcome if bargaining is costless. Critics say this ignores the real-world issues like unequal wealth, power imbalances, and the difficulty of bargaining when harms are reciprocal. For example, if one person pollutes and harms another, the bargaining process can be complicated and costly, especially if the harmed party is poorer or less powerful. From a libertarian point of view, Coase's ideas make more sense. Libertarians believe in clear property rights as the foundation of freedom and voluntary exchange. They see strong rights as essential to prevent government overreach and to allow individuals to resolve conflicts peacefully. Coase's recognition that transaction costs matter supports creating legal systems that clearly define and enforce property rights, making bargaining easier. Stigler's focus on efficiency alone can overlook how initial rights protect individual liberty and wealth. If rights are poorly defined or unfairly distributed, markets might still be efficient but at the expense of fairness or personal freedom. Practically, this means that for libertarians, the best approach is to strengthen property rights and reduce transaction costs. This encourages voluntary solutions rather than government rules. It also highlights that market failures often happen because rights are unclear or poorly enforced, not because markets are inherently inefficient. In the end, Coase's nuanced view that property rights and transaction costs together shape outcomes aligns better with the libertarian belief that freedom and market order depend on well-defined rights. Stigler's simpler, efficiency-focused view risks ignoring the importance of rights and fairness. Both ideas influence how we think about future policies, but understanding their differences helps us see why property rights are so central to the future of liberty.